So I'm just going to say it. I think Ann Widdecombe may have been taken out by the deep.
Ladies and gentlemen, did Ann Widdecombe expose the elites?
Does this establishment of which you and Nigel speak actually exist?
Yes, I believe it does.
There was an interview that she'd done with Talk TV. A few people online who believe there could be, and I'm not saying there is, but there could be something in that interview that could potentially be one of the reasons behind why she was murdered. There's a number of people online that are speculating, trying to understand what has happened here, looking at it from all different perspectives, all different angles. There's one thing at this moment in time that most people online have in common, is that none of this is adding up. None of this is making sense to them. I want to dive into that interview because a lot of people online are suggesting that Ann maybe have said something in that interview that could have led to her losing her life. Now, that's extremely conspiratorial. Bearing in mind, the interview was done on Wednesday, according to what's being said online. Now, on Wednesday, the 8th of July, in the morning, Ann appeared on Talk TV. After that, Ann would have been communicating with the Channel 5 producer. Now, that show would have been in regards to Matt Allwright's show at 1 o'clock that same day. In fact, let's take a closer look at that interview.
I've got very little trust left now in parliamentary processes. And if you look at this government, which has a majority on that committee, if you look at this government, look at the way that it's reacted when it's felt vulnerable, changes to political donations, cancelling local elections, we all remember that, going for votes at 16, loosening of voter ID requirements, you just name it. I mean, they react in such a way that is geared all around self-preservation now. Nigel is challenging that establishment, and he's called this the establishment versus the people, and I think that just about sums it up. And I'm delighted that he's taken this, because the attitude previously of politicians was that you just had to endure it. You gritted your teeth, and if you were being subject to fame after fame after fame, and it wouldn't go away, you just carried on until your position became untenable. He's taking, and I drew the analogy with policy decisions earlier, he has taken this decision because he wants an end one way or the other. And he's right to do this. They're going to lack credibility if there's a by-election and a huge majority for Nigel. There's going to be a great lack of credibility if he's still handed and pursued.
Does this establishment of which you and Nigel speak actually exist?
Yes, I believe it does. Now, I didn't always believe in that theory, but I do think now that different parts of the establishment act in ways which I think are extremely questionable. We saw it in the banking scandal. And suddenly realised it wasn't just Nigel. A load of other people as well who didn't have the ability to publicise and fight it. So, yes, I think the establishment is there in that sense, yes.
And it's not clear what will be achieved from this by-election, particularly given that the other parties are not standing. So therefore, if it's just Farage versus Count Binface, this is not serious politics, is it? It's student politics, and it's a pantomime.
No, it's very serious politics. No, it's up to the other parties whether they stand or not. We know why they're not. They're threat. They know darn well they can't beat Nigel. They don't want to spend the resources campaigning and all the rest of it when they know they can't beat him. They're threat.
Farage versus Binface is not serious politics, Anne.
Can I finish? They're threat, so that's why they're not standing. No, it's their decision not to stand, not Nigel's. Their decisions. And this is serious politics. In this sense, Binface isn't serious politics together. But what Nigel will spend that campaigning period doing is what he told us he would do. He will clear his name, and he will ask the people of Clapton to express a vote of confidence in him. That is not pantomime. That is taking the initiative, thank heaven.
So I'm just going to say it. I think Ann Widdecombe may have been taken out by the deep state. And of course, this is just my opinion, but bear with me on this while I give you the facts around all of this. Because to me, something here just doesn't add up. So police have now released CCTV footage of the man that they say is responsible for Ann's murder. And I've already got questions. Like, how on earth did he drive from Rotherham to Dartmoor in Devon in such a short space of time? On the CCTV footage itself, assuming the time is correctly adjusted, he left the house at 7:51 and then did a 267-mile drive during rush hour traffic. Now, Google Maps says that regardless of his route, it would have taken him 5 hours, meaning that he would have arrived at Ann's house at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The only issue is, the police have previously said that she died at 12:30. Now, this is really strange because to get there in 4.5 hours, it would mean speeding the whole way through rush hour traffic, no stops, no breaks, no rests, and then arriving at Ann's house instantly, no looking round, you know, to see where it is, knowing where it is instantly, no scoping the place out, just straight in, job done and gone.
Exactly.
And I ask you this.
Pause right there. That's why it doesn't make any sense, especially when you're given a context of who the person is. We're supposed to believe this is a person who is living with severe disabilities, whether that's learning, whether that's physical, I'm not too sure at this point. The neighbours in the local area, not only have they said that, you know, the people that were living in the house with him have moved out. As far as they're aware, he's antisocial, doesn't really leave his house or doesn't really engage with anyone. So they can't really give us a character, a personality. They can't really describe who this person is. For all we know at this point, this guy is just a John Doe, random guy. Even when you look at pictures of the guy, in fact, I've got a picture of the guy, I will put it on the screen. This was taken from the CCTV footage. This guy is meant to be 28 years old. Richard is bang on the money with everything he is saying at this point. It doesn't make any sense. We're being told, thanks to you guys in the comment section, that the car in the driveway is a Vauxhall Corsa. A Vauxhall Corsa. And we're supposed to believe that at 8 o'clock in the morning, he hit the M-way, done over 250 miles there. So bro, just think about it. He done 600 miles in a Vauxhall Corsa in one day. Didn't have a breakdown, didn't need to stop at a service station, you know, didn't need a pit stop to go for the toilet or pick up some water. Nobody has come forward to say, oh, well, we saw that car. Yeah, we saw a red car. Forget the Vauxhall. We just saw the red car. We saw the man getting out of the car. We saw the man scoping out the house. Like I said in the last video, it's so weird how we got the initial suspect. Information on him, he's white van, he's some sort of DIY, you know, caretaker type person. So we've got information about him instantaneously off the back of witnesses, but nothing for this guy that they randomly find in Rotherham, over 250 miles away from where this tragic situation took place. Make it make sense. And then when you look at the logistics of how this is possible, it's not adding up.
Do you think it's realistic for a man to speed all that way, not stop, knock half an hour off the journey on British roads during rush hour morning traffic, travelling past places like Birmingham, Cardiff, Bristol, Nottingham, to arrive at the house and carry out a murder instantly and then flee, all presumably on a full bladder? It's just not realistic.
It's so not realistic. Like, if you were to get away with something like this, it means it comes with days, weeks of planning. And it also means you would have had to have been in the location already. Like, you can't just randomly know where this woman lives and get there, pinpoint within the space of what Google tells you the time is, although you've never been there before. And we know that the landscape of the area is tricky. If you haven't been there before, it might take you a bit longer to find the actual destination that you're looking for. So it tells me if it is this guy, he must have been casing this address for a long time, for a number of days, a number of weeks, or there was an inside man that gave him all of the information that he needed to the point where he knew exactly where he was going and he knew exactly what the goal was. See, another thing that I've been questioning, bearing in mind we've got surveillance cams in Ann's house, how did the guy get in the house? How did he get in? That's something that hasn't been explained, but if there is surveillance cameras, then they should already know that information. Like, you would already know how someone broke into someone's house, how they entered the house, if that person's got surveillance cameras. Another thing that I find extremely weird and frustrating is that they're told us to not speculate, but then all of a sudden we've got this CCTV of him outside his house. See, why will that be the first piece of CCTV that you release? Footage of you outside his house, running up in his gaff, dragging him out of his gaff, showing us him at the door of a car, not driving away, not driving down the roads, not driving up the motorway, not at a service station, not in Dartmoor, like, not CCTV that shows, yes, this is the guy, guys. That right there never made any sense. Never made any sense. You release that bit of CCTV before you release anything else. Release the footage of the intruder breaking into Ann's home. There's been enough time for you to go through that footage, analyze it, crop it, clip it, whatever you need to do to it, and publish it. Why was it that you would randomly publish CCTV footage from a neighbor's house to the alleged suspect, but then not post any CCTV footage of the actual intruder trying to break into the house or even driving around near the house? All of that makes no sense.
It's even stranger because just hours before Ann's murder, she took to Talk TV to explain that government are essentially not in charge and that there is an establishment working behind the scenes. Essentially, she came away from the government-approved narrative and spoke out, and then she was killed. And when you look at it this way, I believe you may start to realise that now it all makes sense why the police have been releasing duff information, arresting the wrong people, then releasing them, then refusing to release CCTV from Ann's house, but then releasing other CCTV footage, which just doesn't make sense. And I'm just going to say it, I think this is being done to blur the lines, to confuse the general public and to overload us with bullshit. Ann, I believe, was bumped off by the deep state because this woman, she was dangerous. She was a threat to them. Ann was politically active for nearly 3 decades. The knowledge she would have had, the people she will have met, the stories she could have told, the corruption she could have exposed. She simply knew too much. And I believe that the moment she spoke out and didn't toe the line, a decision was made. And that decision means that she is no longer with us.
I mean, he does make some really good points there. After 30 years of experience being in politics, being in government, you know, being in the mainstream eye as a household name, you would probably have a clearer understanding of how things really work. And if that is the case, ladies and gentlemen, maybe, just maybe, she comes to realize that nothing's ever going to change. And it could be one of the reasons why she is edging or putting all her bets on Nigel. I don't know. I don't know. What Richard said there is hitting nails on heads. It is definitely conspiratorial, even to a degree with what Ann was saying. It is conspiratorial because there is no proof. There's no evidence to say there is an establishment bigger than the politicians. Obviously, we know this, but like we know it, obviously, but there is nothing proving it, if you understand what I mean. Look, I want to know what you guys are thinking at this moment in time. Richard makes some really good points. Other people online have made some really good points as well. And I wanted to kind of do this video to take a look at the interview itself that people are claiming could have been the interview that sadly cost Ann her life, which I don't agree with at this point, unless there were things that she was saying in that interview that she's been saying. And she's been on tour saying them. I don't know. I haven't really followed Ann like that. Again, I'm here to understand why this poor lady was murdered in her home. I'm not here for the politics. I'm not here to talk about her views or opinions or who she represents and all of that type of stuff. I'm here as a human being trying to get justice for another human being. So miss me with all the BS. You know what I'm saying? Many people are speculating and many people are making good points. The police clearly weren't thorough enough, especially at the start, because it was the police that were going to write this down as an accident. They were going to write this off as an accident until the pathologist stepped in and said, hold on, blunt trauma to the head here. She's been hit over the head with something. Blunt trauma, that word blunt trauma, that's crazy because we got told that Jay Slater got hit with blunt trauma, didn't it? Oh, but he just accidentally fell down a mountain. So the police clearly showed their incompetence on day one, not being able to assess the situation and know that something nefarious had gone down instantaneously. They were literally going to pull it down as an accident or pull it down to something about medication or X, Y, and Z. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, leave all your thoughts and all your opinions down below. In fact, I'm going to record another video. I actually want to get more perspective on this case from other people online. How do other people feel? What do they believe? So on and so forth. Do expect us to be back with another video. Plenty more videos uploading, so don't go anywhere. Hit that like button, turn your notification bells on. Subscribe to the channel if you are newly watching. Big up all the new subscribers, by the way. Much appreciate every single one of you. Leave all your thoughts and all your comments down below, and I look forward to seeing you lot on the next one.